Today I will be showing you the Fright Liver attack. It's one of the deadliest openings that exist in chess for beginners because you could possibly checkmate your opponent in 8 moves. I will be showing you the Fright Liver attack from two perspectives. First from the white, how to do and how to checkmate your opponent, and then from the black on how to punish your opponent and how to protect yourself from the Fright Liver attack. If you want to play the Fright Liver attack, all you have to do is play e4, then e5. Your opponent has to play e5. Then you put your horse on 3f, putting pressure on the pawn on e5. And then what they do is they'll most likely put their horse on 6e, or that means c6, protecting the pawn from e5. And then what you do is you put your bishop on 4c, c4, putting pressure on this one right here. This is the Italian game, but you'll have to. It'll basically switches to the Fright Liver attack. Well, what they have to do is take out their horse on f6, putting pressure on your pawn because nothing is protecting it. But that was like the worst mistake that they could have done. Basically, what you do is you put your horse on g5, putting pressure on this one. So in case if they don't do anything about it, let's say if they take, you would just take, and then the king can't take, so they have to move their queen, and then you have a free rook. But that's most likely not gonna happen because they're not gonna let you do that. What they'll do is put their pawn on d5, putting pressure on your bishop and your pawn while it's being protected by the horse and the queen. You'll take with the pawn, they'll take with the horse, and then you'll sacrifice your horse. They'll take with the king, and then you put a check on them. They'll go back. Then you'll take with the bishop, and this is basically the checkmate right here. They only have 2 moves that could get them out of it, but not for very long. They'll take with the queen, sacrificing it. Then you'll take with your queen, putting another check on it on their king. They'll put their bishop on e6, trying to protect it, but you just take, and that's checkmate. Nothing they could do. Dead. But in case they don't go back and back into their little hole and basically kill themselves, if they go to e6, sorry, if they go to e6, protecting the horse, well, what you want to do is put out your horse on c3, putting pressure on this horse. This is basically the horse you want to take. That horse is gonna make the difference for either black or for white, mostly for white because they're probably going to win this situation. And your opponent will have to go b4, protecting that horse, because the only thing they can do right now is protect the horse, because that's the only thing keeping them from dying, because you have the bishop, the horse, the knight, and the queen putting pressure on this knight right here. And what you do is you'll sacrifice a pawn, basically destroying their structure. They'll take most of the time. You do this, basically saving the spot for your bishop to go g5, so the queen can't go there. The queen is not going to go there, but just saving the spot so nothing else can be there. But let's say they don't overprotect, they don't protect their horse. Let's say they go back right here. This is way too passive, basically blocking off their queen and their bishop, killing themselves. All you have to do is play d4. They'll take, you'll put this, sorry, you won't do that. You'll take, they'll take, and then you put a check on them. They'll go up here, check, they'll go over here, another check, and this is basically bye bye for them. There's nothing they could do. This situation is a winning situation. You have more pieces than they do. You basically can keep putting them checks. You can take the queen. Most likely what they're going to do is probably, they only have one spot, and then checkmate. But if, sorry, I have to go really back for this one. If they take, what was I gonna, yeah. If they take, you can just put pressure on this one right here, which is a really bad situation for white, because they have to do a whole entire different play. They can't just keep putting pressure on this one because their pawn has blocked it off. So what you have to do, which is the most reasonable thing, is put it right here, put a check on this one, and what they're most likely going to do is do this. And you can't really take, because you're in a losing situation right here. So what you have to do is just go back, keep going back until there's no more backing up to do. But backing up into a corner is not really a good thing. So if the horse starts putting, or if the knight, the opponent's knight, starts putting pressure on your bishop, you'll put your pawn on d3, protecting it. If they take, you'll take, and then you have two pawns together, which is really deadly. This horse can't really do much. He's just stuck there. So this is another winning situation. Not really winning, but it's another really good situation for whites and what they have going on right now. So let's say your opponent does not take your. Let's say your opponent doesn't take your bishop. He could play the pawn h6, putting pressure on your horse, and you'll do this. Then, backing it up. No other choice really. What they do after that is they'll, not that they won't do that. They'll put their pawn on e4, putting pressure on the horse and the pawn, and then you put your queen right here, basically keeping the pawn there. Also, you can't eat it because you can't do this, because you'll just lose the bishop. So, but now they can't take, because if they take, it's a check and it's an illegal move. So this is another winning situation for you. But if they put pressure and you put a check, you do this, take, and you have a lot of different options. But the best one right now, or a little trap, is if they take without really thinking much, you'll just take their tower and be winning again by points. This is basically a really good situation to be in, because if they start putting some pressure on you, can't take, of course, but you can take the queen, they'll take, you put a check on them, and have to get closer or further, their choice, and then you just take a rook. You're winning by 2 rooks. You still have both of your rooks, and their defenses is completely destroyed. You can still castle. You still have so many more things to put out on the battlefield. This is a completely winning situation. This is a really good opening for beginners, but now I'm going to show you how to counter it and what to do if a white opponent tries to do this with you. So let's say you're playing against a white opponent, or whites, and they're trying to do a friendly attack. The best way to counter it is by doing the Traxlers. We're just gonna set everything up like this. They'll put out their bishop, putting pressure on this, put out your horse, trying to put pressure on this one, blah blah blah. The friendly attack right here. If they get to this position, they're probably thinking that they're going to win, most likely. But the best move that you actually have here is playing d5. They'll take, and if you want to protect your horse, that's fine. You could put it over there in a5, just trying to keep it alive. But this is a really good trap right here. You'll put your pawn b5, and let's say, oh, okay, well, I'll take, whilst putting pressure on your horse, and if you don't do anything, I'll take it, horse. Well, right now the best thing to do in this situation is take with your queen, and then the best thing white can do is go back right now, and you could put your bishop on c5, preparing to do a checkmate if they're not careful enough. Let's say they try to put some pressure, you do this, and it's basically GG's, because for the price of one pawn, you advance 2 horses, a bishop, a pawn, a queen, and you have the other ones ready to do something. This one right here, castle, putting some pressure on this one. Basically, you're set. Well, that was the fright lever attack. I hope you enjoy. If you did, I would really, it would be really appreciated if you went and checked out my Italian, my Italians video, my Italian game video. I showed you how to do the Italian gambit and the Italian opening, and I showed you that you can actually do the fright lever attack whilst do the Italian. But I hope you enjoy. If you did, like, subscribe, and share.